The moment Jamie Fraser realizes the trap has already closed, it's too late to turn back. In Outlander Season 8, Episode 5, everything the Frasers believed they could control begins to slip through their fingers. Trust breaks, love is tested, and one decision, just one, sets off a chain reaction that could destroy them all. This is not just another battle. This is the night where loyalty becomes betrayal, and survival demands a price no one is ready to pay. The night feels wrong from the very beginning. Not loud, not chaotic, just heavy. Like something unseen is waiting to strike. And Jamie Fraser can feel it in his bones. He walks into the lodge knowing the risks, but not the truth. The room is filled with men he once trusted, men who shared drinks, oaths, and battles. But tonight, their faces are different. Colder. Watching. Measuring. Waiting. Jamie keeps his posture calm, his expression steady. But inside, every instinct is screaming. This is not a meeting. This is judgment. Across the table, Cunningham begins to speak. His tone is smooth, almost friendly, but every word carries weight. He talks about loyalty, about the crown, about betrayal. And slowly, carefully, he starts circling Jamie like a hunter closing in on wounded prey. Every question feels like a trap. Jamie answers carefully, giving nothing away, but he can feel the shift in the room. The silence between words grows heavier. The glances between men become sharper. Something has already been decided, and he is only now realizing it. Then it happens. A single piece of paper slides across the table. Proof. Or, at least, something meant to look like it. Accusations of treason. Claims of divided loyalty. Evidence that could hang a man before sunrise. Jamie doesn't react, but inside, everything tightens. This isn't just suspicion anymore. This is a setup. A carefully planned move to destroy him. And, the worst part? It didn't come from enemies outside. It came from within. Miles away, the war tells a different story, but leads to the same fate. Brianna Fraser stands in a field hospital, surrounded by pain, blood, and fear. Her hands work quickly, skillfully, saving lives one after another. But her mind is somewhere else. With Roger. Roger Mackenzie is on the opposite side of this war. Not just physically, but morally. Emotionally. Every step he takes in a British uniform feels heavier than the last. They were supposed to survive everything together. Time, distance, history itself. But now they stand on opposite sides of a battlefield. Brianna hears the distant sound of cannon fire and freezes for a split second. Her heart jumps, not from the noise, but from what it means. Somewhere out there, Roger is closer to danger than ever before. And worse, he might be walking straight toward her. Back at the lodge, the tension finally snaps. Voices rise. Accusations turn into shouting. The room that once held unity now burns with suspicion and anger. And then Cunningham makes his move. He signals the men at the door. That's when Jamie understands. This was never a discussion. It was an arrest. Or an execution. His hand slowly moves toward the knife hidden beneath his coat. Not out of panic, but preparation. Because in this moment, there are only two choices left. Surrender or fight. And Jamie Fraser has never been a man who surrenders easily. At the same time, Claire Fraser feels it. She doesn't need proof. She doesn't need words. There's a connection between her and Jamie that goes beyond reason, beyond time. And right now it's telling her that something is terribly wrong. She paces inside the safe house, unable to stay still. Every second feels heavier than the last. Every distant sound of war feels closer. She warned him not to go, but Jamie chose honor. And now, that choice might cost everything. Outside, the first real shots of the night begin to echo. The battle has started. And with it, the unraveling of everything the Frasers have fought to protect. Back in the lodge, chaos explodes. A chair crashes. A fist swings. A lantern falls, spilling fire across the wooden floor. In seconds, flames begin to rise, turning the room into a living nightmare. Jamie moves fast. Not reckless, but precise. He strikes one man, dodges another, using the chaos to his advantage. But he knows the truth. He cannot win this fight head-on. There are too many of them. And this was planned too well. Smoke fills the air. Breathing becomes harder. The fire spreads faster. This is no longer just a trap. It's a death sentence. But Jamie sees one chance. One narrow, desperate chance. And without hesitation, he takes it. He turns, charges forward, and smashes through the window. Glass shatters. Wood breaks. And in an instant, he disappears into the night. Behind him, the lodge burns. Ahead of him, the real hunt begins. Because now, Jamie Fraser is no longer just a suspect. He is a marked man. And somewhere in the darkness, the people he loves are walking straight into the same storm. The night doesn't slow down, it tightens. Jamie Fraser runs through the dark streets, every breath burning, every step echoing louder than it should. Behind him, shouts rise. Boots slam against the ground. The hunt has already begun. He turns sharply into a narrow alley, pressing himself into shadow as a patrol rushes past. For a moment, everything goes silent again, but it's not peace. It's pressure. The kind that builds right before everything breaks. Jamie knows he cannot keep running forever. Not with soldiers closing in. Not with his name already marked. And not with Claire Fraser somewhere out there, walking straight into danger for him. Far across the battlefield, that danger is already unfolding. Brianna Fraser doesn't stop moving. Her hands are steady, stitching wounds, stopping blood, saving whoever she can. But the sounds outside are getting closer. Louder. More violent. The war is no longer at a distance. It's here. A wounded soldier grabs her arm, his voice barely holding on. He whispers a name that freezes her completely. Roger. Alive. Fighting. Coming closer. Her heart pounds so hard it almost drowns out everything else. Relief hits first, but it doesn't last. Because if Roger is advancing with the British forces, then he is walking directly toward the very place she is trying to protect. Toward her. At the same time, Roger Mackenzie marches forward with his unit, each step heavier than the last. Orders are shouted. Guns are raised. And in front of him, the American lines wait in the darkness. Somewhere behind those lines is Brianna. His grip tightens around the musket. His hands are not shaking from fear of death. They are shaking from the fear of what he might have to do. He tells himself he won't see her, that the battlefield is too large, too chaotic. But deep down, he knows the truth. Fate has brought them here for a reason, and fate is not always kind. Back in the shadows of the city, Jamie reaches the edge of town, only to stop suddenly. Riders, blocking his path. British soldiers, armed and alert, cutting off his escape before he can even think of another route. He drops low behind a stone wall, pulling out his pistol, his breathing slowing, not from calm, but control. This is it. A fight he cannot avoid. A choice he cannot escape. He raises the gun, aiming carefully, knowing one shot could give him a chance, but also reveal his exact position. Seconds feel like minutes. Then, a voice calls out. His name. Jamie freezes. It's familiar. Too familiar. Slowly, cautiously, he lowers the weapon just enough to see the rider more clearly as he approaches through the dim light. And then, the truth hits him. William, his son. Relief crashes into him, but it doesn't erase the danger. It only changes it. William dismounts quickly, urgency written all over his face. He explains everything in rushed breaths, documents, proof, evidence that could clear Jamie's name. Cunningham didn't just accuse him. He planned this, forged it, controlled it. This wasn't about loyalty. It was about power. For a brief moment, time stands still between father and son. No war. No enemies. Just truth finally standing in the open. But reality comes back fast. Hoofbeats thunder in the distance. They've been found. Jamie doesn't hesitate. He makes the decision instantly. William must ride. The papers must survive. Even if he doesn't. There's no argument. No time for emotion. Just one look between them, heavy with everything that has never been said. Then Jamie sends him away. Alone again, he turns to face the oncoming soldiers. Knife in one hand, pistol in the other. Ready. Not to win, but to protect. Meanwhile, Claire Fraser is already racing through the night. The sound of gunfire pulls her forward like a force she cannot resist. Every instinct, every memory, every piece of her tells her the same thing. Jamie is in danger. And she is running out of time. Then she sees him, a figure in the darkness. Wounded, surrounded. Her heart stops, and then explodes into motion. She runs, calls his name, and for one single moment, everything else disappears. They see each other, across chaos, across fire, across fate itself. But war does not stop for love. A gunshot cuts through the air. Jamie's body jerks as the bullet grazes him, spinning him off balance. Claire screams, rushing forward without thinking, without fear. She reaches him, catches him, holds him, and in that moment, nothing else matters. Not the soldiers, not the war, not even the danger closing in. Only them. He tries to speak, to warn her, but she doesn't listen. Her hands are already moving, pressing against the wound, trying to stop the blood, trying to keep him here. Because losing him again is not something she can survive. Around them, the battle rages harder, closer, more violent. But they move together, step by step, refusing to let go. Because their love has always been their strength. And now, it has also become their greatest risk. Not far away, the battlefield reaches its breaking point. Roger Mackenzie raises his weapon. Brianna Fraser looks toward the incoming line. Neither of them can see clearly through the smoke. Neither of them knows how close they truly are. One trigger, one step, one moment. That's all it will take. And as the night explodes into full chaos, the question becomes terrifyingly simple. Will this war tear the Fraser family apart forever? Or will this be the moment that finally breaks them beyond repair?